Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a video on mid lane fundamentals. So this video is going to cover a few topics about how to win lane either every single game or at least minimize lanes in unfavorable matchups. So just taking a look at this matchup quickly, we've got Orianna versus Aurelia, which can be a bit of a tricky matchup for most people, purely because you can get all in quite easily in the early game. So what I want to do is break down this laning phase into fundamentals and or dot points that you guys can do to apply to your own games. And then I'm going to release a part two to this series where I talk about the mid game macro and with a lead that I get in this game, how you can use the lead to carry the game into mid game. So that's more complex mid game macro. And the other thing I'll do within this video is use a comparison between some of the things I do in this game and then compare it with a replay of a player that I recently coached that's actually in platinum. So just one thing that I like to do here, I'll quickly speed through this, but when I'm playing mid and I'm versing champions like Hecarim who like to do these, they can do a lot of different clears. Sometimes I like to go get a ward, but here the Tryndamere was really smart and actually tried to push me off and force me to start W just so I wouldn't take a lot of auto attacks. So this, I'm actually in a really, it's actually really bad for me to start W here, and a few things to keep in mind. This was my first game of the day, so I'm in a pretty rough spot here. And right now, straight away, I shouldn't even be looking to walk up here in CS. I should be respecting Aurelia's level 1. So this is the first mistake I make this game. Get a few autos back in. All right. So Aurelia's already pushing me in. So first thing, I want to pause it right here. First thing I want to tell you is this is my first tip, and you'll see me refer to this all throughout the game, is you always have to have an intention with your wave. Every single wave you play as a mid laner, you should have an idea of what you want to do with it. So already I'm thinking, okay, I lose level 1, level 2, I had to start W, so I just want to thin the wave as much as I can as it's coming into me, and I want to catch majority of this under my tower without taking as little damage as possible and poking him whenever I can. So I'm just trying to CS as much as I can, thin the wave. And he pushes it all in. And this is no big deal. He can't really do anything level 2. So I tried to pick up as much CS as I can here. I think I miss a few, but it's not too bad. I think after all of this, I go down. I'm only down 3 CS. So, next thing. CSing. And look at this. This is the next thing I want to talk about. Notice how I use my poke or my ball. I don't randomly throw my ball. I'm using my ball at very calculated moments. Whenever he walks up for a CS, and this is my second tip, and this is how to take trades on any single champion, range champion in the game, is you always have to make the enemy make a choice between getting the CS or taking damage. And in this case, I'm versing a melee champion. So every single time he walks up for a minion, I want to either get a Q in or an auto attack. So look at this. I'm assuming he's going to go up for one of these creeps. Bang, I get a poke. I get some pokes. I knew he was going to walk up for that creep. And you'll see me do this constantly throughout the game. And this is a super important concept. So I have to use my Q there to get some CS. So straight away, I'm already, what am I thinking about the wave? Already, okay, my wave's pushing out because he crashed it in, so it's going to slow push back to him. So what do I do now? So my thought process is, okay, I want to try and slow build a wave out to him while leaning to the side of my jungler so I don't die to a gank in this period and so I can get the wave into the tower. That's what I'm trying, that's what I'm consciously thinking about. So you'll see me in a minute, probably in a few seconds, start to lean to the top side of the lane because right now I don't really feel safe to lean to either side. Again, getting some poke in when he goes up to CS. And now, as Rengar, I see Rengar on top side of the river, I start to lean onto the top side of the lane here. And I'm going to assume that from the information I got that Hecarim was starting Raptors, Hecarim's going to end up on the bot side of the map. My Rengar's on the top side of the map. So again, CSing as much as I can while leaning onto the top side. So people will ask here, Curtis, why aren't you warding? Well, for me, there's no point in warding topside because I already know Hecarim's bot side, so I don't really need to ward. And the other thing is, I don't feel safe going down to bot side to warding right now because Aurelia can jump on these creeps, get to me, and Hecarim could already be around that area, so I don't really feel safe. Nor do I need to know that he's there, 'cause I already pretty much guarantee that he's there. So again, what I'm doing is trying to get this wave in as much as I can. Um, and something to note that this player I'm versing is actually a pro OPL player. So this guy is a very, very good Aurelia. And so what he's trying to do here, this is pretty advanced. He's trying to hold the wave outside his tower, but I punish him by getting some poke. And again, my thought process right now was like, I know Hecarim's right here, and I know he's trying to set up a gank. But my thought process was, wait, Hecarim should be scared that I'm leaning so hard to here that Rengar could just be ready to counter gank. Sometimes you just verse some pretty average junglers that will do it anyway, and he chases me blindly into the jungle like this, which I found very weird. So, props to him. I thought that I would be safe leaning this far over, and I didn't think Hecarim would go for a gank, but he did. So notice the two things that I've covered so far are leaning to the correct side and poking and using poking in between minions. Sorry, as they're going up for a minion. And here Aurelia tries to because he knows I don't have flash, go for a kill on me. Give him a little emote there, cheeky emote. So right now, what am I thinking? Okay, Aurelia is going to base 100%. He has no resources. So what do I want to do? I have a brief window to quickly shove this out as fast as I can. I actually don't have much mana, but I feel like I can shove this out and deny a wave before he gets back to lane. Unfortunately, I didn't have more mana, but I tried my best here to actually hit the CS and get it in. Oh, oh, there we go. All right, so now I get that in and I can base. So let's fast forward this a bit. Aurelia comes back to lane. I have summon a spellbook, so I come back with TP. And let's see what I do here. Before we go on, what information do I have? I have no idea where Hecarim is. My jungle's doing Krugs. If I press tab, I'm down 10 CS, not too bad because I got some minions coming towards me, probably like 9 CS. And I can contribute that a few to me missing plus the gank before. So I'm pretty scared. I don't really know. I don't have summoners. I don't know where Hecarim is. My jungler's not ready on the map. So this is something you need to always think about. In League of Legends, you should never autopilot. You're always thinking, where's my jungler? I'm always looking at the minimap. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do with this wave. And what I remember consciously thinking, okay, I can sneak these two CS here because I can do it from a distance. Now, while Aurelia kind of sets up a wave, I'm going to go ward. I'm going to use this opportunity to go ward because it's going to slow push to me anyway. So I actually choose not to put a pink here, and people will ask, why don't you put a pink here? Well, I won't have control over this push any second because Aurelia's going to push in, Hecarim's going to be around here soon because Scuttle's coming up, and also their support's missing. So their support's just going to come and clear it anyway. So I end up choosing to put my pink here, just use the Scry's Bloom for bot lane so they can clear some vision, and I just chuck a normal ward in the river. And right now, again, what am I thinking about the wave? All right, there's a big wave here. Aurelia's hitting level 6. I'm just going to chill, sit back, let the wave come to me, and get some poke off if I can, but there's no big deal. I don't need to walk up right now. The support, like I said, he comes. Like I predicted, he would have walked and cleared over my pink ward, but he doesn't, and he walks past my pink ward, so I know he's in my jungle somewhere. So I'm thinking, okay, he's in here somewhere. What am I gonna do? So I'm just chilling. We end up seeing Brand hiding here. They're trying to do some sort of cheese on me, and we end up getting a kill. Stop Aurelia from going. He dies. All right, next. And notice how this is just all fundamental gameplay. Nothing special. I'm down a bit of CS, but again, I mean, I got kind of screwed over for a level 1 and ganked a bit earlier, so not too bad. All right. So now, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, okay, my jungler's basing. I have vision on bot side, but my wave's pushing out. So I need to be. I need to be very, very careful. I'm thinking, all right, this is where I could get ganked again by Hecarim. One thing this game that I didn't do, I actually forgot to swap my exhaust out that I used. I mean, my teleport for an exhaust. So that's actually something you should do in these matchups is look to swap it out right as soon as possible. Again, he's trying to all in me, but can't really do much because I'm not giving him that opportunity. Brand's constantly hovering around. All right, I remember thinking now again. I'm constantly thinking about the wave. It's in a really bad spot. I want to try and lean as far as possible to my jungler, but again, I know Hecarim and Bran are probably around this area, so I'm just going to try and CS from a distance. What I need right now, what I'm waiting for, is someone to have pressure on the map, whether it's bot or top or jungle, to come back on the map so he can help me get some vision so I can shove out. But I don't have that luxury right now, so I kind of just got to play defensively. And here, they try and kill me. I get an ult off, and we end up trading kills. And the funny thing is, if I had barrier or exhaust, I think I actually live here. Next, even though I'm dead, I'm constantly thinking about my wave. And I actually get Rengar. I tell Rengar, go mid, go mid. Like, so he goes mid and actually pushes this wave in for me. So then he denies Aurelia all this CS. So again, the same things. I'm constantly thinking about my wave. Now, coming back out on the map, what am I thinking? All right, my wave's all good. They're starting dragon, so I'm just gonna lean a little bit onto this into this spot side, but they don't need me. They're all good. Go back to lane. Again, fundamentals of trading. He's going to jump in here. I'm going to probably look to go for a Q soon once he goes to these next creeps, I'm assuming. See what he does. Do what I do, sorry. You know, yep, so there. That's a perfect example. See there how he jumped in and I used my Q and W. I actually didn't have ult, so I probably could have ulted there if I had it, but I didn't have it. Thresh does some interesting gameplay, but it's not the end of the world. Now, pushing it in so we can reset. Now, what do? Look here. Well, my team's backing off. My jungle's gone back to the jungle. My support's basing. Their support's active on the map. I have no idea where their jungler is. It's not the time for me to poke under tower. I don't have that level of safety. So what do? What's the next step? Okay, I'm gonna ward while I'm here, get some vision in the river, and I'm going to get my blue buff. I'm always doing something. I'm never just standing still. And that's my next thing. You always got to do something in between the waves. You either so once you've crashed a wave, you're either A, resetting, B, roaming, C, getting vision, or poking them under the tower. Constantly doing something. Again, come back to mid. Again, I'm like, okay, Aurelia is missing. I see Hecarim here. This is where my pink ward was before. So again, this vision's paying off. I'm like, all right, I'm going to duck my head in a little bit just to see where they are, see if I can chuck another ward in. And I see them hovering around. And because of my vision, Rengar comes and we end up cleaning up another kill. Great. So let's see what I do. Go back to lane. And Aurelia's just trying to farm it out. Again, he's a little bit scared. Now I can start to eventually play a little bit more aggressive. See how when he's constantly going in, I'm trying to poke. He goes in here and I poke. Auto. 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 When I try to Q, he actually goes back in on me. Again, auto. And I'm just winning these trades now. There's not much he can do. And again, I'm playing slow. I'm being really frustrated. I'm not overextending in the lane. I'm constantly got vision. I'm always playing to my jungler. And again, he's getting frustrated. He's like, all right, I'm going to try all in. I dodge the stun. I exhaust. And then he tries to flash out. And I chase him and kill him. Bang. He's dead. So again, see, this is just simple gameplay. But it's saying level-headed, calculated, um, doing the fundamentals. Next, Hecarim tries to kill me, but again, I'm too far ahead. I've built Seekers, so I'm fine, and he dies. Now, constantly get the wave in, get the wave in, get the wave in. I'm trying to push the wave so I can reset, deny as much CS as I can. So now, I actually don't get this next wave because I feel as though if I get this next wave, I don't have TP, so I can't come back to lane. And then if I stay here, I know Aurelia's going to be here any second, and I might just get stuck in lane. So I just take this as an opportunity to recall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here in terms of because the laning phase is about to end. And now what I'm going to do is I'll do another part where I compare someone else in platinum mid laner, and I'll show this in a second. But then there's also going to be a part two, and the part two is going to be a continuation of this game, but it's going to be on purely like more complex macro, my thought process on how to carry the game from this position as Orianna, from a mid mage. So if you're interested in that, check out the next video. So yeah, let's go into seeing what a platinum mid laner does. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to go through and try and compare and to see if there's those mid lane fundamentals that we saw before in my gameplay within a gold Ari. So this is actually someone that I was coaching beforehand. So let's actually dive right in to see a bit of a comparison and see if we can apply some of those fundamentals within this game. So first of all, something you should notice is that Kiana, level 1, really weak, melee champion versus Ari, who has starts with Q and can auto. So what we should be seeing, like we saw in last video, whenever the Kiana goes up for a auto attack on a low minion, we should be looking to see poke. That's step number 1. See, we're just not seeing it. On each of these minions, we should be seeing Ari looking to auto or throw a Q. So Kiana's just being able to farm freely. So this is the first thing that we should see implemented. And this goes for any matchup. There's no no poke when Kiana walks up here. She take a Q to the face. Nah, nah. So this is what I call as well. I think people, and this is to summarize it, just how to take great trades in lane. It all stems from just all it is looking at the minion health and throwing your ability when they're low. Simple as that. Gets a good trade down. Next, let's get my notes up. So what's the next thing we should be looking for? We should be looking for leaning. So let's actually see how the leaning goes this game. She has no information about where Lee Sin is, and she's got a knockdown on her team versus Kiana. Because you're kind of pushed in this far, it's not too important. See here again, we're just seeing the same thing. Throwing abilities when Kiana's not looking up to go for CS, and so Kiana's just getting away with a safe laning phase. So what's wrong with this leaning here? Why? And so Nocturne's on top side, and Ari's leaning on the bottom side of the lane right now. For all Ari knows, Lee Sin could be looking to start to get into bot river, exactly where Nocturne is, but maybe closer to mid, and then maybe Kiana, EQs in, stunned, Lee Sin hits a Q, she gets a big chunk. I'm not sure. So we should be seeing Ari lean onto the top side of the lane, like this, or like she was doing before. And now they set up a nice little kill here, I'm assuming. Great, charm, dead. Okay. So what's the next thing we should be seeing here? They should be getting the jungle to come and push the lane out with you. Remember, having intention with your lane. At every single moment in the game, you got to have intention with your wave, and that's my next tip. Well, if your intention with the lane is to get in as fast as possible, and your jungler was right here, and he can just queue and order the wave, why wouldn't you do that? So yeah, this is the first thing. The next thing we're seeing wrong is that no intention with the wave. The intention is not there. So bases comes back. Let's see what happens. All right. So next thing, what should we see here? Nocturne's dead. Yeah, Nocturne's dead. Um, the big minion waves pushing into her. We have no idea where Lee Sin is. So thinning the wave is a good idea here. But again, just be looking to catch the wave onto towers completely fine. Like let the lane push into you. Again, throwing. So this is what I say. I say this a lot is when the wave's pushing into you, it's very difficult to take a favorable trade because if you were to try and go in a trade with her, with the enemy, you're going to take a lot of damage from minions. So it's the perfect time for the enemy, generally assassin, to go in for a trade when they have a huge minion wave behind them. So ends up having a little freeze here. Not she hits a tower. Pushing it out a little bit. So let's see. So that Q didn't. The Q's a little weird. All right, now what should Ari be looking to do in between the waves here? She has a pink ward. She has sitting on 2 wards. Remember what we said in between waves? It's a really good opportunity to get vision down. And what do we see? Nothing. Just sitting here. So that's the next thing. Notice how that's one of my biggest tips is never ever the number one cardinal sin of mid lane is sitting on two wards because obviously it's super inefficient because one of your wards isn't recharging. So this would have been a perfect opportunity for Ari to walk down, get some vision on the side of her Nocturne on the bot side, and now she's in mid lane now with no wards and it feels like there's no intention with this wave either. Like this whole last 30 seconds, what's been the intention with the wave? Are you trying to push it in completely to reset the wave? Are you trying to keep it in the middle? Are you kind of keep it on your side? Are you trying to push it so you can roam? At the moment, it's just kind of sitting here in this weird spot and nothing's really happening. It's just here for the sake of being here. And there's no real side that Ari's leaning on because she has no vision. So what should we see right now? Nocturne spacing, her top's getting pushed in, bot's getting pushed in. What should we see? We should see letting probably Kiana push in a little bit and even maybe back up, put a ward, and come back and lean to one side. Gets a good chunk. Now, straight away, Kiana's chunked, has to base, has no pots. What do you do? Intention with the wave. Think, think, think. Well, if she's not going to be here, what should I do? I should shove it in so I can deny as much CS as possible. But Ari's not using any abilities. Should be queuing, queuing, queuing. There's no queue. This auto attack, auto attack, auto attack. And now what happens? Because you don't shove it in and you don't and Kiana gets a free base now. Well, now you're stuck in lane with no pots. You're going to have to base, but Kiana's going to get here any second, right? I even six around even more to try and save for the next wave. And now it's just a disaster, right? You're stuck in lane with no mana, no pots. Kiana's fully reset with Tiamat, two pots and a pink ward. Got no vision. This is just worst case scenario for Ari. Taking some bad trades. Yeah, getting a bit sketchy. So I'm going to leave it there and let's just summarize. What did we see that's different? There was no real intention with the waves. The trading wasn't in line with timing it with the minions getting low. There was no real leaning. There was no getting wards in between the waves. So use this video as a guide and a comparison to see if you can implement these 4 or 5 simple tips in mid lane, you're going to be either winning every single lane or you're going to be minimizing tough matchups. So have a go and let me know if this works for you and feel free to add me on League Coach Curtis and give me some feedback on some of these videos. Cheers.